what is driving for dollars? It's kind of a funny phrase, a funny term, right? I mean, do you just drive around neighborhoods and pick up dollars? Well, kind of. And if you do it right, those dollars can be in abundance. And I'm going to walk you through the process of how to actually do that so you can really step up your real estate investing. All right, let's go. I'm going to walk you through driving for dollars. I'm going to explain what it is, how to do it, and a newer idea around making it really efficient and profitable. And then I'm going to show you a simple plan of how you can pull it off and use it in your neighborhood to really maximize the money that you make inside of your real estate investing. So number one, what is driving for dollars? Well, it's a time-honored strategy or a technique, so to speak, that's been performed by real estate investors since we've started investing in real estate. And what you do is it's a way of building a list of potential motivated sellers to where you can start marketing to them and potentially find a real estate deal for yourself. So that's what it is. So how does it work? Well, very much like the description says, you drive for dollars. You drive through neighborhoods, or you could walk if you want. You could ride your bike or a skateboard if you want. But you're going through neighborhoods looking for signs of distress on property. And when you notice one, what you do is you just write the address down. You get the name, the street number, and the street name, and you start compiling those on a list. Maybe it's on a clipboard. Maybe you're super techie and you've got your iPad or your phone and you're keeping a spreadsheet. Whatever it may be, you're keeping track of all of the properties that you see in the neighborhood that have these signs of distress. And some investors will even take additional notes of what they're actually seeing on these properties. Like, do they look abandoned? Do they look like they need major repairs? So that's the process, and that can be a little bit tedious, and there's a way that you can really expedite this. And if you stick around, I'll give you the name of my favorite app that really makes all of this really, really easy and really easy to track. So property distress, that's what investors are looking for. So those signs of distress, the property could have boarded up windows, maybe it has broken windows, maybe it has overgrown weeds, the roof looks in disrepair, maybe it's really out of date. All of those types of things could be symptoms of distress. And the reason we're looking for distress, because that might be a little bit of a signal that there is a reason for that seller to be motivated to get rid of the property. I mean, if they're not taking care of the property, maybe it's more of a burden to them than anything, and they would very much welcome a nice, fair offer to be presented to them. So once we've got our list built out of these distressed properties in this neighborhood, we'll take that list. The typical real estate investor will take that list back to their office and start looking up the seller's information. They're going to look up for their name, and they're going to see if there's multiple owners on the property, and they're going to start looking for ways to contact them. They'll take that list, and based off of those addresses, they can run it through a skip tracing service. And a skip tracing service, what it can do is return to you the phone number and emails of those actual owners, so you have the ability now to contact them directly and present them with your offer. Before I do, if you want to get serious with your real estate investing, make sure that you click the subscribe button, because I post cool, innovative, money-making stuff like this each and every week that can really help you level up your real estate investing business. And I don't want you to miss any of that. I want you to make as much money in this business as possible. I know what it's done for me. I know what it can do for you. So click the subscribe button. Now, the most efficient way to do this, because you want efficiencies with this, because as you can tell, you're driving up and through the neighborhoods, you're taking notes, and then you got to go back to the office and you got to look up all this information. You got to do a bunch of research. You become essentially a private detective. And a lot of real estate investors, they avoid this practice because it is so tedious. It is so time consuming. But those that do it, they do it because they know the rewards that are at the end. They're willing to do the work. But we can make this much, much easier. And thank God there is a way to make this easier, because I remember I got my first $27,000 check. My first deal was $27,000 by doing this very thing the old-fashioned way. Now I do it the new-fashioned way. And that's where the Deal Machine app comes into play. It's an app that you can download right on your phone, right from the App Store. And how it works is, as you're driving through the neighborhood, you'll pull out your phone, you'll open up the app, and once you see one of the properties that has this sign of distress, say you found a property there that had a condemned notice on the door, that could be a good opportunity for you. So what you do is you go ahead and you take a picture of that property right there through the app. and the picture will appear on your phone, obviously. But what that picture will also do is the app knows which house you took a picture of and where you are. It will pull up the owner's information, so you'll know their name right away. You'll have their phone number right away. In many instances, you might even have their email address. And you have the opportunity to call that seller right there from that location while you're sitting in front of the house. You don't have to go and back to the office anymore and do all of that tedious research. You got it right there at your fingertips. Or what you could do is you could just click a button. And what that button will do is it'll trigger a postcard being sent on your behalf to the seller saying that you'd like to buy their property, and if they're open to your offers, they could call you right back. Your number will be included on that postcard. What will also be included on that postcard is the picture of the property that you just took. And that really stands out in someone's mailbox. It gets a great response. It's a really efficient way to drive for dollars and generate all of the profits that this practice can. So what the people at Deal Machine have done is they've given my clients the ability to test drive the app, to get free access for 7 days. What they've also done, which is really cool, is they're giving you $30 of free credit to send those postcards, because the postcard costs money and there's some postage involved. So they're going to give you $30 of credit. So go ahead and try it out, and you can get access to that right here and right here only at epicdealmachine.com. You can take that domain name, you can type it into your browser, and I'll also put a link down below in the description for your convenience. Now, number 4, your best plan. As my collective 15 years of doing this has shown me, this is what you're going to want to do. The best way to drive for dollars is to identify the market or the neighborhood that you want to make your investments in and create a driving plan for that neighborhood. Being organized right from the start will really help you be productive at this practice, because you don't want to do double the work and accidentally drive down the same street twice or 3 times within the same week. That can be a real waste of time. You don't want to do that. So let's get organized right from the beginning. The next thing you want to do is you want to schedule it. You want to schedule your driving days, your driving hours, because what doesn't get scheduled doesn't get done. You see, using driving for dollars as a part of your deal finding strategy can be really, really effective. But having a well-oiled marketing machine and plan in place can significantly improve your results. Now, it's important to keep in mind that as you come across these properties that look like they're in some sort of distress, that doesn't mean they are going to sell you their property at a discount. It doesn't mean you're going to find a motivated seller. It doesn't mean every single opportunity is worthy of marketing to. It just means that there's a greater possibility there than the nice, clean, pretty house on the corner. The other nice thing about it, there's not a huge capital outlay to take this on. It's essentially free. You've got gas and maybe some pens and pencils, something like that. That's it. But the trade-off, it takes some work, and it can be tedious and sometimes frustrating in some regards. But gratefully, the Deal Machine app kind of removes all of the bad stuff of driving for dollars and leaves just the good stuff. So get your 7-day free access of the Deal Machine app plus your $30 of free mail credit by going to epicdealmachine.com. epicdealmachine.com. Alrighty, so that's it for today. See you next time. Take care.